Welcome to NDE Insight. Get ready for stories that go beyond life and death. Whether it satisfies your curiosity, strengthens your spiritual beliefs, conquers your fear of death, or eases the pain of loss, we're here for you. So, sit back, relax, and let the journey begin.
Hello, my dear readers. Today, I want to share a story about an experience that occurred during my childhood. This unique event was tucked away in my heart for more than 20 years until I turned 43 in 2010. It was then that I finally found relief from another mysterious revelation and was released from the burden. I believe it's time to make this experience public. To protect those involved from harm, I've decided to conceal my real name. You can call me George. As I sit in this serene coffee shop in the woods, observing the leaves outside the window tenderly falling apart, my memory transports me to a slow-drifting river named the Russian River in Healdsburg, California. At that time, I was only 8 years old, with an older brother and sister. My parents loved us dearly. Perhaps due to the age difference, my parents seemed to favor me more, occasionally causing hurt feelings for my brother. I'm unsure if I offended him in some specific way, or if my rudeness and bossy behavior touched a sensitive nerve. In short, he began to grow unfriendly, occasionally becoming furiously angry with me. Naturally, I wouldn't hesitate to confide in my parents about his actions, resulting in more severe punishments for him, such as being forced to do housework or having entertainment opportunities cancelled, becoming part of his daily life. One summer day in 1975, my parents went out, asking my brother and sister to take me to play at Memorial Beach, a place we frequented. A tranquil river flowed through beautiful grassland, bathed in sunshine and children's laughter. As we had all learned to swim, we often entered the river, neglecting our parents' repeated warnings of the danger. On this occasion, my brother and I waded into the river, swimming to the middle, while my sister wandered around the riverbank. Despite her usual docile nature, she was reluctant to join us in the water. When we reached the deeper part, my brother abruptly rushed to my side, encircling my neck and pressing my head into the water. Though it felt unexpected, I initially thought it might be a new game, a pretend drowning scenario for amusement. Soon, I felt breathless, struggling to free myself from his grasp, but he refused to let go, holding me tighter and tighter, preventing me from breathing. It became clear that his intentions were malicious, but it was too late. I was already powerless and exhausted, knowing that I was bound to die. Then, I lost consciousness. I opened my eyes to find myself in another realm, being cradled by who I believe was my guardian angel, in arms of light and being presented to God. There was communication between my guardian angel and God. I heard my guardian angel say, "He's adorable, can we keep him?" There seemed to be a discussion about my future, but I wasn't able to hear what was said. Apparently, God said, "No." Then I was being carried through the sky downward. I noticed during the descent the sky was kind of gray and cloudy, but I knew on Earth it was a nice day. I tried really hard to look at my guardian angel that was carrying me but couldn't see them, as if they were intentionally staying out of view. There were not any words spoken, but there was a form of communication, and this translation is my best recollection. I asked with a thought, "Doesn't he love me? Doesn't he want me?" I heard my guardian angel reply and thought, "You have an important purpose to fulfill in this life." I wanted to know what my purpose was, so I asked. Then there was a moment where my guardian angel asked God if I could know my purpose. Again, the answer was, no. I felt unhappy that I wasn't able to understand why I couldn't stay or why I couldn't know what my purpose was. So, I asked if I could have a hug. I understood the answer to this as, "We're not allowed to do that." At this time I am carried down into the river by my body, deep under the water. I felt my hair and skin pass through my face as my guardian angel merged me back into my body. I felt a little squeeze around my middle that comforted me, and I knew it was the hug I'd asked for. As I opened my eyes, I heard the words, "Don't breathe." I realized that I was underwater and I didn't breathe. Although I didn't see it, a moving part of the dam hit the left side of my lower back and it threw me upstream and down toward the floor of the river. Still underwater, my feet skidded along the rocks and gravel as I was thrown upstream. It felt like a wonderful foot rub, and I had a great appreciation for the sensation of the gravel under my feet. I had my shoes on and thought about how much better it would be barefoot. The water was clear, so when I skidded it stirred the murky silt into the clear water, and as the sunlight shined through, it illuminated with beautiful swirling patterns. I had an extreme appreciation and love for this and felt special for being the only one allowed to see it. I looked downstream and saw the mechanical moving parts of the dam and again felt the same appreciation and love for its magnificence. I looked back at the swirling patterns that stopped and started moving downstream toward the dam. I then felt my body do the same, as the current began to carry me downstream as well. I pushed myself up and started paddling to get to the surface, repeating to myself, I'm not ready to die yet. When my head came out of the water, I was relieved to breathe again. When I showed up in front of my brother again, I could see the fear in his eyes, as if he were pleading with me for something. Eventually, he took me and my sister home, not saying a single word throughout the journey. My sister seemed completely unaware of what had happened. I never shared that incident with our parents, maybe because a profound fear of my brother had rooted itself inside me. From then on, my brother treated me with an unusual level of respect, sometimes going out of his way to please me. However, as time went on, it felt like an impenetrable wall had grown between us. To be honest, I kind of forgot about that childhood experience later on, so I didn't actively hold any resentment towards my brother. But I could sense that after that incident, he spiraled into deep self-blame and lived a rather unhappy life. He skipped college, left home early to work, and we rarely stayed in touch. It was almost like my brother had never been a part of my life. It wasn't until 2010, when I was 43, that this buried past suddenly resurfaced and shook me to the core. By then, I was a father to 6 kids, working as a union carpenter in the towering buildings of Las Vegas, Nevada. One day, my sister reached out with the news that the brother I hadn't seen in years, living in California, was battling cancer and would soon be leaving this world. It was at that moment that I realized I had a brother. I was struggling with what I should do next. The whole day, I felt restless, and during work on the construction site, I nearly lost my balance when I looked down, feeling dizzy. Thankfully, the safety rope on me kept me securely in place. At that time, I felt I was lifted out of my body and asked, "What would you like to know?" I knew it was God, and I knew that to my left was my future and to my right was my past. I could also see large planets beautifully gift-wrapped floating in the atmosphere. I knew they were for me and contained anything I wanted to know. I could have asked for any knowledge, and it would have been given. I didn't want any of that. What I asked was, do I get to go to heaven? I tried to will myself to my left to see my future, but God turned me and showed me the time in my past where I was attacked in the river at 8 years old. He asked me, "How do you feel about the person that tried to kill you?" I felt nothing but love and forgiveness and said, "I forgive him." God said, "That's why I am forgiving you, and you will go to heaven." He brought me back to the present and held my spirit suspended in his presence as small glowing balls of light fell through me. I could feel his love for me, but even the word love doesn't describe what it was. It had a substance. It was tangible and pure and wasn't a reward for good behavior. It was who God is and a gift to me because of who I am as He created me to be. 3 days later, I was in a hospital in California, where I saw my brother leave with his last smile to me. This memory was suppressed for many years, though I'm not sure why, but after recounting the events over and over and listening to other NDEs, I have concluded that I am here for a purpose, as is everyone. I believe that my purpose is to be loving and kind to others, which is not always easy. There are hard challenges for everyone throughout this life, and I believe that the hard times give us an opportunity to care for and love one another. It's not that we are being punished by a cruel God that doesn't care and has left us to suffer, but to exhibit kindness in the face of adversity is how our spirits level up. Eternity is a long journey, and we are at a very low level of spiritual evolution, and spiritual growth requires us to experience much tribulation.